All right, man. Torture Talk After Hours. So this is the 1 year anniversary of Kendrick Lamar's Watch the Party Die. So we're going to get into this. This is Torture Talk After Hours. Let's get it. All right, so let's get it. This comes from Rapaholics. So let's go.
As we know it, over the next 12 months after this song's release, the party really did begin to fall apart. We saw the crumblings of empires within the industry, giants like Diddy, Lil Durk, or Big U be entangled into RICO cases facing multiple decades behind bars. We saw a young thug beat a RICO case, get released from behind bars, seemingly making it his mission as a free man to tear down the one artist that was prospering on Thug's record label, Gunna, focusing more on street politics than music and getting exposed for tearing down nearly everyone within the music industry that he has collaborated with in the past.
You know, the crazy thing is, and this is just my opinion, I know maybe people might have a difference of opinion about this, but I don't understand the obsession with black men being so feminine. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we kind of push that for some reason. I know this probably ain't got nothing to do with this, but I mean it kind of does. But I don't understand why we are the ones who are being highlighted as the ones with the most feminine nature and the ones with the most violent nature. I just don't understand it. I don't. I think it's kind of weird, if you ask me.
A shockwave of division amongst a once heavily unified Atlanta trap music scene.
I don't feel like you came home humble, bro. Enough. And then when you got out, I don't feel like you was focused, bro, the way you should have been. I feel like you taking your blessing for granted. Came home playing again.
With Thug breaking down himself in the process.
I just don't got my twin, bro. I don't got my friends, bro. I'm just f***ed up, man. I'm f***ed up, bro. Who I be with every day, I don't got them no more, bro. I'm f***ed up, bro. I don't know what to do, bro. Like, and I ain't lose no to a tragic, or now I lost to betrayal, bro. You signing that one piece of paper, signing your initials on this one piece of paper could get me a life sentence, man. I get a life sentence, all this piece of paper you signed, bro. Damn.
But it wasn't just certain artists getting exposed.
Yeah, he's really hurt by that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, he was really hurt. And you know the thing is, I understand why, because coming from his point of view, I think he would have did life in prison before he did something like that. Coming from his point of view, I think he would have never did that. He would have never did that. Not to say that what Gunna did was wrong or right. I'm just saying, from his perspective, he probably would have never did that.
In the last 12 months, plenty of other artists decided to show their true colors in the midst of adversity or criticism. We saw Kanye West have multiple breakdowns on Twitter, isolating himself from the entire world. We saw DJ Academics, someone who was mentioned directly by name from Kendrick Lamar throughout his battle with Drake, not only push propaganda, but also behave in highly inappropriate ways when he thought the entire world was not watching.
Mr. Self-Righteous, I call you hip-hop Jesus because that's how people look at you. The plight that Kendrick seems to be fighting is now clearly aimed at people who he thinks are frauds. A lot of the industry, they're frauds. If you can't outmaneuver him, sometimes you gotta wait till he checkmates himself because you don't have the moves to beat him. This was a misstep for me. Not the song being whack. I don't think it's whack, but I think it's a misstep. The rapper who has been known as the "we gonna be all right" rapper, the guy who is for the culture, he spent an entire career standing on the right side of those fights, going against the establishment. But we've seen a different Kendrick Lamar this year. This is a Kendrick Lamar who, whether you want to admit it or not, this is a Kendrick Lamar who's moving off of self-admitted hatred. Not maybe as righteous as maybe you think.
We saw.
Well, what did he say in that song? Mr. Morale, give me high five. He said, what did he say? I'm something, but I'm more. But I'm this, but I'm more like Kodak Black. I can't remember exactly what he said. He said it on Savior. Did he say, like it when they're pro-black, but I'm more like Kodak Black? That's what he said. So all of this, you talking academics, he said it himself. He more like Kodak Black. Y'all like it when I'm pro-black, but I'm more like Kodak Black. Like, he literally said that.
Veterans like Lil Wayne tried to steal the spotlight and downplay the accomplishments made by Kendrick Lamar when he wasn't chosen for the Super Bowl halftime show. And later in the year, we saw if he truly did deserve that title. We saw Pusha T battle censorship from his own record label before jumping ship. And of course, we saw La Brianna initiate an unprecedented form of censorship through legal filings related to his battle with Kendrick Lamar. All of these issues stemming from division, feeling like you no longer have control over the pulse of a culture you once did. But even outside of music, division grew sharper. Trump reclaimed the presidency, the political climate reached new extremes, and violent flashpoints like the Charlie Kirk assassination shook society at large. All of this chaos mirrors exactly what Kendrick Lamar seemed to be pointing at within this song: the death of unity, the collapse of an era, and the need to draw a line between artists who stand for substance versus a culture addicted to spectacle. Watch the Party Die wasn't just a song. It was a warning. Kendrick might have not known it, but he saw it all coming and predicted exactly where the state of society would be headed. I think it's time to watch the party die. This stuff got too wicked to apologize. It's different. Get him whacked and disqualified. We even kill the killers because they like taking innocent lives. Burn the whole village. We start over. It's really that time. You could tell just by the first few bars of this song that Kendrick's incentive after the battle was to rebuild hip-hop from the ground up. There was no turning back, no apologizing. Burn down the entire village. You would think he's specifically referencing his overall mission when challenging Drake for the massive rap battle they had just months before this song was released. I will touch on Kendrick Lamar's intentions with the battle and
So I want to speak on this real quick before he goes any further. I think what Kendrick Lamar has done with this song from a year ago is he put it in the perspective of things can happen and things were going to happen. Now, some people would say, well, it's not that difficult to say things are going to happen when the climate we are in. I'm going to say this. I think that we are in the most radicalized climate in human history right now. I think that there are people who sow division on both sides of the political spectrum. There is, I will say that there's one side that actually does try to talk more, and the other side doesn't want to talk. I will say that. I'm not going to say you did. I'll leave that up to you to interpret which side that is, but I'm not going to do that. But either way, I think what Kendrick did, it was kind of a prophecy that he spoke on.
everything that transpired throughout his victory lap later in this video. But ultimately, this was bigger than Drake. This was bigger than a rap battle. He would go on months later to do an interview where he discussed his intentions by challenging one of hip-hop's most successful figures, and ultimately it was to bring the spirit of competition back.
I love when artists grit their teeth.
You created this massive cultural award-winning anthem out of a battle rap song.
My intent from day one was to always keep the nature of it as a sport. I think a lot of people was putting rap to the back and you didn't see that grit, you didn't see that bite anymore.
It's not enough.
But what are you competing for exactly? 2 years before this, Kendrick Lamar had stripped himself of this savior complex, letting his audience know he wasn't here to save the culture. He had to work on himself before he can fix the environment around him.
Kendrick made you think about it, but he is not your savior.
And his battle with Drake was breaking down the boundaries and cultural norms within hip-hop at the time in order to fully destroy the standard and rebuild it from the ground up. But again, before we dive too deep in the battle,
that's a fact. That's a fact. What he did, I think that Drake represented a portion of the hip hop society, let's just say, that was toxic or wasn't to his liking. And I think he accomplished the goal by burning it down. But now it's something different. So you got to understand, Kendrick planted the seed of doubt in everybody's head when it comes to Drake. And now when people think of Drake, they don't look at him the same as they used to. Some people still do, but other people don't look at him like that no more. They don't. This is why Drake's saying that Kendrick killed his career. And I think that Drake is, if Drake didn't really feel that way, he wouldn't say that. He wouldn't say that. Nobody says that their career is over if they don't really feel that way, in my opinion. How can you say your career is over if you super successful?
Important line in the first few bars of this song truly stands out. We even kill the killers because they like taking innocent lives.
What we're doing is using our brain to get out of the ghetto any way we can. So we tell these stories, and they tend to be violent because our world tends to be filled with violence.
Think about what has intoxicated not just hip-hop culture, but society at large, really since the turn of this new decade. The new decade that Kendrick Lamar has been more silent than ever, only speaking through the music. And there's a reason for that, which he touches on later in this song. I want to read you guys some absolutely insane stats. According to the Center for Homeland Defense and Security's K-12 school shooting database, after the world was reopened following the COVID-19 pandemic, the 2021 to 2022 school year had the highest number of school shootings since records began in the year 2000. A Kaiser Family Foundation analysis found that student exposure to school shootings had nearly tripled since the year 1999. With most of that increase occurring during the pandemic years, 2020 to 2024. These are truly terrifying numbers. And aside from just school shootings, gun violence in general has been on a terrifying rise, with 2021 and 2022 seeing record highs for firearm deaths within the US. 46,728 firearm-related deaths in 2023. And 2023 didn't even have the highest total of firearm-related deaths ever recorded. And this rise in gun violence has been directly reflected in music. One of the biggest anthems of 2021, Back in Blood, was all about seeking revenge on your enemies.
Yeah, I think that people got to understand the United States is a very complicated country. At the same time, it's still the best country. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I wouldn't pretend about that. I've been a lot of places and it's still the best. The reason why is because of certain things are set up here. It's gift and curses all over the place. As far as the gun violence been going on for a long time. A long time. Some of these mass shootings been going on for a long time. Now, do I believe that we should have stricter gun laws? Truth be told, I don't think that they should. And I know that's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to explain. Once you start taking people's guns away or restricting people, then it becomes a thing when if the federal government was to ever try to take over, the people don't have the right to pull out weapons to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of that. So, not to say that people use it, but guns don't supposed to be used in a manner where you actually are killing people for no reason or robbing people. That people could say that they want, but that's an American culture problem. That's not a gun problem. That's an American culture problem. That's something that we need to change. Need to teach people about certain things and stuff like that. We were raised differently. Maybe it wouldn't be is what it is, but people believe they're on survival mode sometimes, and some people are just evil, malicious. Some people believe people should be deleted. Some people laugh about it like it's funny, you know? So, but this is what it is.
Lil Durk was previewing the song when he got the news that his childhood friend and longtime collaborator, King Von, had tragically passed away to firearm violence. The other artist on that Back in Blood song, Pooh Shiesty, has been incarcerated since 2022 on a federal firearms conspiracy charge. And now in October of 2024, about a month after this song was released, Lil Durk himself was arrested by federal authorities on a conspiracy to commit unaliving for hire again.
You see what I mean? Like, people don't want to talk about the brutal truth about us. We don't want to talk about it. We want to dance around it, but we don't want to talk about it. Nigga culture is a real thing in our culture. And it's been going on for a long time. And it's infecting us as a whole. We have to root this out. And I don't mean like, you know, I don't mean like get rid of people, deleting people. I'm saying we have to teach kids differently. That's what I'm saying. Show them a different way. Protect them from different type of things or things that are being said. Impose to them that that's the only option that they have. We got to get rid of that. Like, for real.
Quando Rondo, a man who was present and involved in the altercation that led to King Von's passing 4 years prior. Three of some of the most promising rising talents within this new generation of hip-hop have now either lost their lives or freedom due to gun violence. But it's not just the musicians. It trickles down and is arguably fueled by social media discourse. Viral hashtags like Slide for Von swept the internet following King Von's passing.
They used to say it, but you also mentioned a song. They be like, they be saying Slide for Von. I think they trolling me. Yo, by the way, them songs is fire. I ain't gonna lie.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. For some odd reason. Might be the water. You be seeing them comments a lot?
They kind of chilled out a bit.
Why?
Tons of internet personalities like DJ Academics.
Now, I want to say something about that. I don't care what you see on the internet. It's up to you to provide the action if that's what you're going to do. The reason why I see why people say this, though, is because most of the time the internet is kind of like peer pressure. And people blame the internet for the things that people do. They say, well, if we didn't have this, if he didn't do this, or they didn't do that, or if this person wouldn't have said this, or the crowd made him do it, like, instead of just saying that the person's, you got to be able to correct your audience and say, I'm not doing that. No. And if you believe I should, then you shouldn't be over here. Like, but see, a lot of these young, impressionable men, they fall for it. They fall for it and they go right to it because they want to make their fans happy. Just like what's the name, son, when he slammed that man on his head. Same way. Just want to make the crowd watch. You won't think I'm gonna do it? Watch. I always want to watch. Watch me do it. Watch. And then he goes crazy after that. Say, oh, nobody believes me. Oh man, they think I'm a pussy. I'm not. I'm real. Like, Because we have fallen to this thing where everybody believes that they have to prove something to somebody. Everybody seeking validation is crazy at this point.
22, Trap Lord Ross have made careers off documenting the violence, crimes, and deaths plaguing hip-hop culture and America at large. This cultural reset isn't just about the monotony that Drake's formulaic music has brought to hip-hop over the last decade. It translates to the grander, darker picture that has painted and plagued societal norms more heavily than ever over the last few years. And I'm not saying this was what Kendrick had in mind when rapping these bars, but it translates into the exact sequence of events that we witnessed after this song was released. Why reason with these guys if they can't see the future first? Why argue with these clowns if the circus is well at work? Just walk that man down. That'll do everyone a solid. It's love, but tough love sometimes gotta result in violence. If you parade in gluttony without...
Yeah, that's a hard bar, man. That's a hard bar. That's a hard bar, man. That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Giving truth to the youth, the graveyard is company. Just tell us what casket to choose. They party more than women. Tell me, what are you working for? They glorify scamming. You get shipped over this credit card. Why argue with these clowns if the circus is well at work? Kendrick didn't do any arguing. He made a statement, and that came in the form of one bar. F the big three, it's just big me. It paints a bigger picture far beyond Drake. You can separate yourself from what is going on within society, but if you want people to follow you, to respect you, to view you as a leader, you've got to let the world know why you are superior in every facet. From your skill set to your moral compass, to the words you speak, but more importantly, the actions you take. And the line in the sand being drawn from what Kendrick is trying to separate himself against is very clear in these bars. Why reason with them if they don't see the future first? Why argue with clowns if the circus is well at work? This is a well-oiled machine. Social media has made it to where you can build a career off of being a clown. There's a reason why the term brain rot has been popularized over the last few years. We're consuming mindlessly in gluttony. If you parade in gluttony without giving truth to the youth, the graveyard is company. Just tell us what casket to choose. Following down a path of gluttony will lead you to emptiness. I don't think that statement was better emphasized than when we heard how Young Thug was speaking on Kendrick Lamar himself while he was locked up behind bars. Young Thug wanted to do everything he could to sabotage his artist Gunna's career over street politics. He planned to release an album the same day as Gunna and wanted to get the entire industry featured on it.
And you got to understand what you're dealing with too. A lot of these rappers, they promote this type of violence and behavior. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that they all like that, but a good portion of them know that that's what their audience want to see. Like, you pay attention to what's going on in the background. It is in one part of this video, there is a jumbotron showing guns spinning around. You know what I mean? Showing guns spinning around. And then you got this.
To do everything he could to sabotage his artist Gunna's.
Look at this. You got that American flag, the black American flag, black and white American flag with blood all over it. Now, some people could say, well, that symbolizes America, all the bloodshed. Like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because he doesn't rap. He's not a revolutionary rapper. He don't rap like that. He raps about drugs, guns, girls, gangs, and stuff like that. So that doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that. That right there means, yeah, I'm from America and don't get your head popped off. Totally different. And this is a type of rhetoric that's constantly being promoted to children and kids and people that come to see him. What do you think they're gonna think? You think some of these people are mindless drones? You think they're just gonna be okay with this? No, they're not. A lot of them don't know anything.
Career over street politics. He planned to release an album the same day as Gunna and wanted to get the entire industry featured on it. When he found out Morgan Wallen was beating him for the #1 spot, without even knowing who Morgan Wallen is and what he stood for, he still wanted to get him on the project. Without even respecting who Kendrick Lamar is and the moves he makes, he still wanted to have Kendrick on the project. But when Kendrick ultimately rejected the request, Young Thug went on a rant complaining about how Kendrick Lamar will never be the one leading the culture basically because he doesn't parade in gluttony. He doesn't collaborate with every artist. He's not outside. He's not necessarily putting these different rappers on the same way Drake does, like the Lil Babies, the 21 Savages, Moneybagg Yo, Young Thug himself.
With Kendrick.
I hope he do it.
So do I.
He don't take no money, do he?
No. He wouldn't do that. But think about it. He does so few verses. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not just doing verses. Like,
right. All that fake. I ain't getting on no rapper song shit. I don't be liking them type shit like that. You get too big. I don't want to do no feature. Why? Why you don't want to do no feature? Why when you want to do a feature for a superstar? You really got Lil Durk calling you for a song. Lil Baby, Thug, real superstar calling you for a song. Why wouldn't you do the song? We lit, nigga. We going number 1, 2. I don't be understanding that type of shit. Supposed to be a nigga who blessing it. That's why them niggas will never be bigger than Drake ever in life. Put somebody on. It's okay to run you a few hundred M's up, but who you help though? It'll never be bigger than Buddy. Buddy gonna do it right. Buddy with everybody. You know how many niggas like Drake change? How many niggas can take care of their family because of Buddy? Just like straight which Kendrick goddamn put him on. You're a superstar. You don't ran up you a few hundred M, but you ain't putting nobody on though.
You know, it's crazy how Not Like Us is Kendrick going to prison and getting released. And and it's so crazy how he told the story of Drake taking him to court because of Not Like Us. It's so crazy how this video played out, bro. If you think about it, the video is about him going to court over Drake not being like us, and he goes to prison for beating up the owl, slapping the owl around. You know what I'm saying? Knocking the money work out, knocking the money out of him. So they put him in jail for it, and then he gets out of jail, and in the courthouse, because this is the courthouse, because that's where they were at. They were at in the courthouse. They're having a good time, like, because they know he's gonna be let go. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes to, and then the crazy thing is, Kendrick goes back to the hood. He driving the Lamborghini. He does everything, and then at the end, the owl is locked up. It's such a crazy concept, man. It's crazy.
With me, Wham, Dirt, Sam, you probably put up. You probably calling us like, hey man, I want y'all young niggas on my album. I'm on some player shit this time around. I'm on some player shit.
But there's a different strategy to how both Drake and Kendrick create and execute their art. Kendrick, for example, did put people on his Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album, but used them as centerpieces to highlight the fractures within society, the result of being a victim to a generational cycle of oppression. Kodak Black was placed strategically on the album's tracklist in the form of an interlude for Kodak to document his come up, his trials and tribulations, and how these struggles can create a flawed individual who is a constant work in progress.
Surprised to see you on Kendrick's album, but what's that relationship been like, kind of collabing with him?
Me and Kendrick, we got a lot of little things in common that people probably don't want to understand. Both of us, we Geminis. Me and him, we could talk, and he understand me beyond than what the internet theories, it's like he got a different perception of me. He ain't count. Like he say we gonna do something, we do it. No, Kendrick from the streets for real too. Oh, that boy, I got a lot of love for him.
This is, as Kendrick puts it on Watch the Party Die, giving truth to the youth, giving real perspective behind what many would deem as subject matter too violent, too negative. There was real intention behind it. He's not out here trying to keep his name relevant by catering to the ADHD consumption cycle of keeping your name in the news cycle 24/7, collaborating with every single artist, hopping on every single trend. There has to be a meaning behind it. Meanwhile, with Young Thug, while incarcerated, we heard a slew of jail phone calls he had, talking crap about tons of people he's collaborated with, tons of people he's wanted to do collaborations with, not just Kendrick Lamar, but basically everyone from the Atlanta hip-hop scene over the last 10 years.
And Drake's so stupid, he probably just sent the stupidest condolences like, yeah, bro, sorry for moms, and I'm here for you, bro, whatever you need. Just like something stupid, instead of giving them some wisdom of something real. You probably just said some crazy stuff on the phone, which is, you still genuine, you know what I'm saying? But you probably said something like that, and then you come right back 2-3 weeks later like, yo, let me get this on. Right. Instead of, like doing the whole real procedure, calling them every single day, calling them every day, just figuring it out, getting with it. Like, hey, where you at? I'm gonna get on the plane and come chill with you, bro. Like, you using the fact that you Drake as a weapon now. Ain't nobody getting nothing but goddamn Pluto. He definitely do it. She probably done killed some of his babies, for sure. She probably done aborted some of his babies, for sure. 100%. He done took that bitch, man. We went to Dubai one year. He took that bitch to Dubai with her and Brittany, her and the baby mama. I know for sure she done had some abortion. guess the crazy part is when I became a superstar, I stopped none of them when I became a superstar. I started being like, bitches, I know a bitch gonna try to trick me. They either start none of them when they become a superstar. I did it the backward way. Like, I'm 38, 39, all the kids grown. I'm just smack straight young shit and none of them hoes. It's really fire, but it should be just like one or two girls like Bob Marley, you know? Bob Marley, well, he had a lot of baby mamas too, though.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. That's crazy as hell. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all watch the rest of that on there. I just wanted to put this out. This video is pretty long. I don't want to make it too long. It's about 45 minutes. I'm already in. See, we can watch a little more.
He was more like a real father too, though. You know what I'm saying? Pluto got to like settle down and really just be with all the kids. People went looking at Bob Marley like, ew, you got 15 kids. You got 25 kids. I think Bob Marley got like 25 kids. People went looking at him like he was bad because he was like a real father. He was just like super there and just being a super dad, being whatever the best he could be. So women, he wasn't like disgraceful to women. Women wanted to have his kids. Pluto is like, you pushing the P, you just want to have your kids and shit too, but you still got to be like 100% locked in with the kids. You like 100% locked in with the bitches. That's the wrong way to go.
And as a result, it's created a spectacle, a circus, an entire landscape that now has to be rebuilt. Instead of being able to simply celebrate Young Thug's release, enjoy the new chapter in his career, because of the gluttony, the pillow talking, the gossiping that he engaged in, he's now forced to face the consequences.
I just don't got my twin, bro. I don't got my friends, bro. I'm just up, man. I'm up, bro. The nigga who I be with every day, I don't got him no more, bro. I'm up, bro.
What would have been the point for Kendrick Lamar to argue with Young Thug over him not doing that feature, over him, as Young Thug put it, not putting enough people on? The same thing goes for Kanye West. The same thing goes for Lil Wayne. Why argue with these clowns if the circus is well at work? We saw what transpired with Kanye West over the last 6 months. Why reason with these guys if they can't see the future first? Kanye West could have went down as the most legendary artist of the 21st century. A multi-decade long legacy built on classic albums and an emphasis on authenticity. A legacy that'll be hard to remember so fondly thanks to the horribly...
I never understood this video, him and Lil Pump. I thought it was so stupid looking. Just dumb.
21st century. A multi-decade long legacy built on classic albums.
Yeah, look at these goofballs. This looks stupid. It's like, this just looks so dumb. It looks so stupid it is upsetting. Like, it really is. It kind of like makes me mad when I see this. Because it just looks terrible. I don't know. It just looks weird. Looks so weird. So weird.
And an emphasis on authenticity. A legacy that'll be hard to remember so fondly thanks to the horribly hateful things Kanye West has said over the last few years.
Why say Virgil after he passed? I think a lot of people feel like, he's not here to defend himself. It feels like you still have a little bit of animosity there.
I'm evil.
Hate that reached a tipping point about 6 months after Watch the Party Die was released, when Kanye West burnt his entire party down, possibly creating generational trauma for his family and children by crapping on their mother's entire family, exposing traumatic events that happened to him and his cousin when he was a child, praising the Mustache Man, calling Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids the R word, and not failing to target Kendrick Lamar in the process. The Super Bowl didn't just have Lil Wayne shook up, it also had Kanye West shook. He tweeted out things like, bro, Kendrick Lamar cannot rap. Wayne got way more life bars. I got more bars. Kendrick doesn't have one bar where I say I wish I said that. Kendrick and Tyler, the Creator, are the two most overrated so-called artists. Please order more security. Why argue with these clowns if the circus is well at work? Kendrick could have responded to stuff like this. Kendrick was never king, maybe king of the West Coast, but never king of the world. He never was. He's a good kid from a mad city, but Lucian Grange went too far with this Kendrick stuff last year and this year, and y'all dumb industry plants ruined the King of the Underground's album with that rap tone all over the place. Playboi Carti made my favorite music until I heard Kendrick on it. What I'm saying is not about Kendrick, he's just a pawn. The album before Not Like Us tanked. Lucian, send help. Why reason with these guys if they can't see the future first? A lot of these guys who have jumped out the gate to expose who they truly were out of jealousy, out of hatred, out of fear of not being in that top spot, simultaneously expose their true colors and their insecurities and their shortcomings in the process. Look at Lil Wayne. A couple days before this song was released, Kendrick Lamar was announced to be the Super Bowl halftime performer for the 2025 halftime show in New Orleans. Lil Wayne somehow felt entitled to that position. So instead of congratulating Kendrick Lamar or staying silent on the issue, he decided to go on Instagram, acting like this was something that was robbed from him and left him destroyed.
That hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about? It hurt a whole lot. I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown, for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. It made me feel.
Yeah. All right, well, look, we're going to watch the rest. Y'all can watch the rest on his channel. Get out of here, man. Yeah, man. So this is Watch the Party Die. You already know what it is. It's a lot more to this episode. And yeah. Y'all have yourself a good one. I'm out of here, man. It's very late. I'm very tired. I'm taking it down. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace. Bye.